Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 17 male, have been living with my foster parents for 2 years now. When I first arrived at their doorstep, I had hoped to find a loving and supportive family who would care for me as their own. Unfortunately, that's not what I got. They are not the wonderful, loving and supportive parents I hoped for. They have not been the best to me. It's perfectly clear to me that they are only doing this for the money they receive from the state. And I'm just another check to them. I always felt like an outsider in their home, and I often feel like I'm walking on eggshells around them. Recently, things have gotten even more terrible when I received a letter from an insurance agent about my late dad's insurance. It's over $80,000 and he had made me the sole beneficiary of it. I was surprised and didn't know what to make of it. My father was never in my life, obviously, and bailed on my late mom and me soon after I was born. He had dropped in and out of my life forever, and the last I heard of him, he was in jail. But it looks like he pulled a 180 and made something of himself, and as a final act of repentance, left me the money. Honestly, it sounds overwhelming, but I'm so excited at the prospects this will open up for me. However, my foster parents' reaction to the letter was what made things awful. They found out about the letter because they were nosy and went snooping through my mail. Since then, they have been dropping hints about needing money. I've been pretending not to hear them or not know what they were dropping hints about, but it's been getting increasingly unbearable. Then, 2 days ago, they sat me down and told me that they expected me to pay for their elder daughter's 18 females' college tuition among other expenses. I was shocked and didn't know how to respond. They said they have been taking care of me for 2 years and it's only fair that I give them a share of the insurance money. I quickly retreated to my room and things have been tense ever since. I didn't think it was fair for them to demand my money like that, especially since they haven't been the best parents to me. They are always criticizing me and making me feel like I'm not good enough. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to share my money? Update. Thanks everybody for the replies. So what happened was, I tried to avoid talking about the matter as long as possible. But yesterday, my foster dad sat me down and explained to me the cost of the college course for their eldest kid. It's $40,000. And he said he expected me to foot the total cost because he knows I've got the money. So it's the right thing to do. They did not expect me to foot the cost of her other expenses. How generous. So I said no, and he got angry and my foster mom joined in on it too. At first, they tried to guilt trip me saying stuff like, if they hadn't spent money on me, they would have been able to pay for the daughter's college tuition, etc. But I quickly shut that down by pointing out that the state already provides them with a stipend to spend on me, and they barely spent anything on me. All they provide for me for free is the little food that I eat, and they make me work to buy my school stuff and clothes. Since then, they have been calling me names and saying that I was ungrateful for everything they had done for me. Foster dad even came home drunk late at night and threw a fit saying that he'd get me arrested for a false charge if I don't give them the money ASAP. I recorded his tantrum on my phone just to be on the safe side, though I don't actually think he will follow through. I've called my social worker and she's coming around tomorrow. We are gonna look for another foster home or move me back to the home for the time being. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, OP. You also don't owe your foster parents anything. Even if they were good foster parents to you, you still wouldn't owe them anything. They're quite shameless for even asking and demanding you give them half or more than half of the money you got from your dad. It's dangerous for you to be around them. I hope your social worker understands this and gets you out of their house and away from them. Good luck, OP. Story 2. In March 2017, I was scheduled for an abortion after an unexpected pregnancy. I decided I would try to keep the baby last minute and told my grandfather. He called me to yell at me that I should paint my face black and stand in the WIC line because if I keep my baby, I'll be a welfare queen. He said I have nothing to offer a baby. Those are the two things that stand out specifically after time has passed. But there were other hurtful things as well. I told him that I was under duress and did not appreciate him yelling at me, said goodbye and hung up. He texted me to have a nice life. I didn't hear from him or his new wife, married 1 month after this incident, until 2 months after I had the baby. He showed up at my mom's house while I was still there, and I was very civil. It's been about a year since I heard from him. My mom is urging me to let the past go. I refuse. He says he will not apologize because it's how he felt. I'm not asking for an apology for his feelings. I want him to acknowledge that what he said was hurtful, racist, uncalled for, and untrue. Then I will talk to him again. Additionally, I don't want my daughter to develop the same relationship with him that I had. He was very harsh, critical, and judgmental. Not a person that I'd consider nice. Not a person my daughter needs in her life. My grandfather and his wife requested that I send the baby up to his house with my mom today to collect Christmas gifts. I said no. My cousins, brother, aunt, and mom went up to do Christmas. When they came back, my family, except my mom, said that my grandfather's wife called me a bitch when she realized the baby wasn't there. They gave the couple a framed portrait of all of us grandchildren for Christmas, and my grandfather's wife said she needed to cut me out of the picture to be complete. Now, my mom said she needed to video my daughter opening the gifts to send to them. I said no, that I have no obligation to allow them to see her. I told her if my daughter was only allowed gifts at the expense of seeing them, then we don't need the gifts. I will not accept bribes or mistreatment. All of my life, my grandfather has told me, I will give you XYZ if you do ABC. His love was conditional and had to be earned. I don't believe in conditional love for a child, and I don't want to perpetuate this with my daughter. So am I the a-hole? My husband agrees with me and I feel just, but I don't know if I have tunnel vision from a hurt I should have let go. Not the a-hole, OP. Forgiveness could relieve you. Hate is not a healthy feeling. You can forgive your grandfather and still decide not to reconcile with him. Keep your distance to protect yourself and a child. Wish him the best, like he did when you were pregnant. And build your own best for your husband and your child. If at some point he expresses empathy towards you and your child and thinks you are ready for reconciliation, it might happen, but hope you can build the future of your child and distance yourself from this unhealthy relationship. Take care, OP. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole, the rest of your family is completely insane for attempting to force you to allow your child to be exposed to someone who verbally abused you for not killing her. That is crazy. Wash your hands of this hateful man and live a happy life with your beautiful little family. Not the a-hole, purely because the most important thing is keeping your daughter safe from these toxic people. How you feel about your grandfather has nothing to do with it. And if you were just using your daughter as a pawn to get back at him for the horrible stuff he said to you, then I would suggest that you need to let it go. However, you seem entirely justified in wanting to keep your daughter safe from these people, so not the a-hole for protecting her and preventing them from building a potentially harmful relationship with her. Not the a-hole, he's toxic filth married to toxic waste. You are doing your daughter a huge favor by not letting him or his bitch wife see her. There is no guarantee they would treat her the same as they treat you, but best not to chance it. Also, he still treats you like shit, and your daughter doesn't need to see that. Also, she doesn't need his notion of conditional love to warp a sense of what love she deserves as a person. Blood doesn't make a family, how we treat and love each other does. Make it clear to the rest of your family that you will cut contact with them completely if they go against your wishes. And give them access to your daughter without your express permission. That means sharing pictures or videos too. You are doing this for her safety. It's not a grudge. It's protecting her from an emotionally abusive person. He has no right to her and neither do they. If they can't respect your wishes, they can join him on the curb you kicked him to. Story 3. So, recently my family has departed on a backpacking trip around Europe for a month and a half. Now, my parents have already backpacked through Europe twice before, so they know what they're in for. Before this, both my brother and I were told, whatever we pack we will be lugging around almost constantly. Now, being the smart cookie that I am, I decided that I wouldn't pack anything that wasn't a necessity, ending up having my pack around 8.5 kg, with the rest of my family packing between 11 to 14. Now, before we left, we had already split up all the family gear that we are all sharing. phone chargers, toiletries, first aid, etc. to make it more balanced for everyone. Now, after about a week where all the family gear has all been out and mixed up, my brother immediately decides that we should all dump the family gear in my pack as I have the lightest one of the lot. The rest of the family immediately agrees that it's only fair as I have the lightest pack. And this just stirs me up as I haven't brought extra weight of luxuries like the rest of them. And flat out refuse, saying something along the lines of, I didn't bring any extra luxuries like the rest of you, just the bare bone stuff. For example, my brother and I went clubbing and he had a whole set of stylish clothes and extra pairs of shoes, while I'm stuck with my tracks and runners. And my mother bringing along her hair straighteners and dryers all for herself. So while they get a better quality trip with their private extras, I'm stuck carrying things that would have been split even if I had packed extras myself. Am I the a-hole for refusing to agree to a more equity-style trip rather than equality, which is what we originally agreed on? Edit. Financially paid for individually, parents aren't paying for the kiddos. Now for some comments. You pack it, you pack it. I made the mistake of bringing a 15-pound gaming case on a 3-month trip to Europe. I ended up mailing that shit home, but not until I already paid over $300 in extra baggage fees, hassle of carrying it, and shipping it back home. Not the a-hole, but seriously, how much did they pack that they can't carry their own shit? My last backpacking trip to Europe lasted a month and I took sneakers, thongs, sandals, 3 socks, 7 undies, 2 bras, 2 bathing suits, 3 t-shirts, 4 tank tops, 2 shorts, 1 skirt, 1 leggings, 1 long sleeve top, 1 hoodie, 1 play suit, dress, makeup kit, toiletries, hair straightener, microfiber towel, and I had no issue carrying all of that, plus souvenirs. So yeah, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You're carrying the weighty burden of packing lightly. You paid for your light pack with a lack of conveniences. This is no different from someone else overpacking and insisting that everyone else take some of their load. I would make it clear that everyone was welcome to unpack whatever they were not willing to carry and put it in a pile, then say goodbye to the pile because my brother packed clubbing clothes on a cross-country hike.